All right, welcome to our first My Time session, and we will be doing a ZenMe focus for the next few weeks. So my name is Sandy Golder, and I'm joined today by Steph Wicks, who is my co-founder of Thrive, Tribe and Co. So we just thought we'd do a little intro on what we do, and we are so incredibly excited to be partnering and collaborating with the team at Luke Critters Foundation. So we've got Carly on the call today. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
And Jolene, who doesn't have her camera on, I don't think at the moment, but she's on as well. So yeah, we're super excited. We're super excited to bring this to you guys. We think it's a really important resource that everyone can use. And yeah, we're excited to spend the next sort of 5 or so weeks giving you some skills.
Yeah.
So a bit about Thrive, Tribe and Co. Thrive, Tribe and Co is an online platform for parents of children with special needs. So we'll share a bit about our stories today so you get some background. But basically what we do at Thrive, Tribe and Co is we provide online personal development programs specifically targeted mostly for mums of kids with special needs, but I think any parent of a child with a special need, doesn't matter if they're a mum or a dad or a carer or whatever, can benefit from this. So we're collaborating with Luke Critters to bring some of that to you guys through the My Time program, which is a program they have been running in the Luke Critters Foundation venue, which we obviously can't do now. So it's great that Steph and I already know how to do online stuff. It's worked out well.
We're good to go.
Yeah, we are. Steph, why don't you share a bit about your quick journey of how we got to here with your kitty?
Yeah. Yep. So when we met, I was, how long ago now? It's been this whirlwind, but 18 months. And my little girl was literally just going through the process of an initial diagnosis. And it was that point in time where we knew that we were going to walk a path that we didn't really ever expect to walk. And you all kind of nodding your heads like if you're familiar with that. And it's a very scary time because you don't really know, you're looking at judgment and what people think of you and what this means for your child and your family. And then the universe is very funny how it works, because we went to a networking meeting and met Sandy, and literally I think I burst into tears in that initial meeting, just talking about my current situation with beautiful Charlie, just the situation that we were having, and my resilience muscle wasn't really existent then. So yeah, anything would make me cry, which is normal as well. So, and I guess then, she said to me, well, look, I've got this amazing idea. We want to bring special needs parents together. I've got this vision, drew out this health wheel, we ran through it, and I was like, I'm in, yes. And we were talking about this the other night in our coaching meeting because Sandy mentioned a productive distraction. Is that right? So that at that time, I didn't even know that Thrive, Tribe and Co would become this productive distraction, and now this amazing community of women that are being brought together all over the world. So it's pretty cool, right? And as a result, I've had a chance to grow and learn and be supported and just meet all of you wonderful people, which is growing daily. So yeah, we're super, super grateful.
Yeah. And look, I wanted to share a bit of my story today that maybe people didn't know. So I have 2 kids. I have a son named Cooper who's 10 going on 16 in the other room, and a daughter named Imogen who is she's 9, and she has level 3 autism. She was diagnosed when she was 2.5. So it's been quite a ride so far. And right at the beginning of that ride, I found the Luke Critters Foundation, which I feel very fortunate to have found, because I knew nothing at that stage about autism. I knew nothing about parenting a child with additional needs. And, there were many a times where I was crying in my car, and some of the staff who were then at Luke Critters would come out after the little playgroup, and they'd be like, it's okay, come on, we're going to help you get through this. There was one particular time I remember Amy actually stripped off naked and wouldn't get in her car seat, and they literally come and saved me. So, I think it is such a great resource, and that's why I actually get a bit emotional thinking, oh, now I can give back to that, which is really cool. So My Time, I know, has been going for a little while. Carly, did you want to explain a little bit about what's been happening up until this point with My Time? Because it's it's already giving so much value.
Yeah. So I've been with the Look Foundation nearly 2 years in May. So I basically get together with the parents and carers of children with autism at the moment, and we just have a chat basically, and sometimes we'll do mindfulness activities, and it's just a basically time to have my time, just to chill out, and the kids go off and play in a separate room with their play facilitators. And it's just, it's fairly chilled out at the moment. Yeah.
And I know that I was chatting to Jolene about how we can sort of try and replicate something for the kids whilst the My Time's going on. So in the future, we're going to have, we're hoping to make up some little house scavenger hunts or stuff that the kids can engage in while you guys are having My Time virtually online. So if you just click on the chat bar as well, Jolene's just put her email at the top. So if you guys can just write that down or copy it into your browser or whatever, into your email, if you just send her an email, she'll be able to notify you of all the free My Time events that are coming up in future, so you can stay connected with us. So it's really important that you do that. It actually helps the My Time to run as well by you emailing her, so she has a list of registration. So in order for us to keep these going on, we need to be able to show My Time, who fund it, what we're doing and who's attending. So that would be really helpful.
I'll send through the kids' activities every week with the link once we have everyone's emails.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So if you want the free activities, send your email. It's like a reward sending your email through. All right. Well, that's sort of the housekeeping stuff done. So let's get into it. Initially, what I really want to do is I want you guys to just introduce yourselves, because if this is going to be a platform for us to connect and really make some friendships, it's really super important. So we have a framework for this. It's really short because we've got so many people and it needs to be quite succinct. So just explain your name. You're going to share a little bit about your children, like how many kids you have, and how long you've been on this ASD journey. And then I want you to share one fun fact about you. So it might look something like this. Hi, my name's Sandy. I have 2 kids, Cooper, who is 10, and Imogen, who is 9 and was diagnosed with autism at 2.5. She also has ADHD and anxiety. A fun fact about me is that I am a Harry Potter tragic, and with the ISO, I have already watched all 7 movies done. So I'm now looking for something else, for real. Right, so I'm a bit of a Harry Potter addict. So that's an example. So we've got to keep it quite short and sharp. It can be any weird fun fact. You might really love pickles. That's another fun fact about me. So it doesn't need to be. It's just like learning all this new stuff about me.
I'm like, wow, oh my goodness.
All right, well, let's kick it off. Michelle Hogan, can you go first? Just unmute yourself before you talk, ladies.
I'm like, where's my unmute button? I keep trying to press the microphone on the actual window. So yeah, I'm Michelle. I have 2 kids. I've got a 6-year-old son who has been diagnosed with autism, like a level 2. He's verbal. He's quite idiosyncratic, very rigid, very random, logical, literal thinker. And then I have a 3-year-old daughter who has right hemiparesis cerebral palsy. So that's my kids. Fun fact about me is that you usually can't get me to stop talking when I start. So
that is very true. All right, you, Michelle.
For anyone who knows me knows I talk a lot. But
yeah. Thank you. You did so well kicking off. Loved it. Shani, could you go next?
I'm reading it from the top. Sorry, just
it's so good.
Hi, I'm Shani. I have 2 girls. One's 10, one's 6. My 10-year-old was diagnosed with ADHD and in the last 2 years, but autism, girls presentation since she was about 7. Both my girls have sensory needs and anxiety, and we've been on this journey for a little while. And the fun fact about me is I was a homeschooler before
With school.
I've got a whole new respect. I mean, I've always thought you're amazing homeschooling, but now I'm just like, wow, amazing. Like, hats off to you, Shani. Amazing.
It's survival. No, we're all in the same boat at the moment, so it's a learning curve, massive learning curve.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shani. That's awesome. Melanie, would you mind going next? I just met Melanie this morning. A friend introduced us, so she's jumping on for the first time.
Hi, I'm Melanie. I've got 2 kids. I've got a 10-year-old boy who is ridiculously bright. He's a very amazing little boy. And then we have Valerie, who's 6. She's level 2 ASD with anxiety. She's very verbal as well. Fun fact about me is I'm a terrible gym junkie. It's terrible. But
it's a healthy obsession, though.
Good one.
Good.
Yes,
yeah.
one that I'm missing at the moment because we've all been.
I know.
Wow.
It's different doing it at home, but you know, got to do what we got to do, right?
That's right.
Thanks, Melanie. Welcome, Amanda Kenny.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda, mum of 5 crazy little boys. My eldest is turning 12 on this Saturday, and my youngest is 4 years old. Ashton, my 4th little boy, he's had a complicated medical history, but he was actually assessed for autism when he was 3, and they said he wasn't autistic. He then went on later to get diagnosed with ADHD and ODD, and then they decided that they thought maybe he was autistic again, and so just recently, probably about 4 weeks ago, he's been assessed again. And we're just waiting on those results to come through now. Fun fact about me is I actually enjoy doing the grocery shopping because it gives me some time just to be by myself without the children.
Love that.
Oh, the joys. Simple things in life, hey? All right. Trista.
Hi, I'm Trista. I have an 8-year-old son who has level 3 autism. He's a bit of a handful, but he's lovely. Fun fact about me is I've learnt my creative side with this homeschooling because I don't have a printer. So I've got to try. So yeah.
Well done. Awesome. And Trista, you've been tuning into the My Time stuff already, hey, at the British Foundation?
Yeah. Yeah, on Friday with Carly and a few other parents who I tried to invite today, and I saw Alicia's here. Hi, Alicia. But yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thanks, Paula.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, so I've got 2 kids. I've got Noah, who's 9. He is an enigma. So he has a whole host of diagnoses from autism, ADHD, ODD, auditory processing disorder, dyslexia, dysgraphia, anxiety, and he's also, in his own way, he's gifted. So he's a very complex little guy, which you've probably seen him. And then I've got my daughter, who's also very interesting. She's 11. Her name's Amelia. She's got autism, ADHD, also auditory processing disorder. She has some selective mutism, and she is very gifted. So it's hard work with the 2 of those, but they're great kids. Fun fact about me, I love anything fantasy. I read fantasy novels, fantasy movies, anything at all, like sci-fi, fantasy, and I'm musical. I play musical instruments.
Nice. Didn't know that.
Cool.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thanks, Paula. Rebecca.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I've got 2 kids. My son Jensen, he's 10. He had an extremely complicated start to life. So he was diagnosed with ADHD in kindergarten, late kindergarten, and an intellectual disability in year 1. He also suffers with some anxiety. He's got a beautiful heart, just a lot of work, very hard work at times. Oh, and he's got a speech language disorder, and that probably causes the most issues because he just really struggles to communicate. My daughter is 6 and she had a really good birth, so she's doing really well. I actually say she's my rock sometimes because I just find I can reason with her and I have fun with her. She's quite mature for her age, I think. So yeah, blessed to have her. And a fun fact, I'm enjoying watching Gilmore Girls at the moment.
I love Gilmore Girls.
Getting back into
so good.
I don't know, 10 years or something.
Nice, that's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Alicia.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Perfect.
Yeah. I have 2 boys. They're 9 and 6. My youngest has autism. He's very bright. He has anxiety, ADHD, and sensory. I'm a single mum, and I love lipstick.
Oh, nice. I love a good lipstick too. I'm maybe just one day going to put it on just because I got nowhere to go, but it makes me feel good.
I was going to do it today, and then I'm like, oh, don't be silly. But
maybe we should all wear lipstick next time.
Have a lipstick day. Next one.
Awesome. Thanks, Alicia. Thanks for the inspo. Kerry.
Hi, I'm Kerry. I've got 4 children. A girl who's 28, a boy who's 25, a boy who's 21, and a girl who is 7. And the youngest one has ADHD, sensory processing disorder, autism level 2, deaf in one ear, and she has definitely been here before. She has taught me so much. And she was a surprise baby. She was not planned, but surprise. She turned up anyway. Fun fact about me is, I don't know whether it's fun, but I just love cuddling babies. That's my happy place. Just cuddling babies is my happy place, and it really kills me that that there's that contact that can't happen now. Because I've put my name down to volunteer at the hospital at Nepean Children's Hospital, not the Nepean Hospital in the babies ward, and I can't even start there now because of the isolation. So I'm just dying to get to cuddle some babies, to get some love.
Yeah,
you get back there, Kerry.
Maybe just use your little dog at the moment, just as a substitute until you can get an actual baby.
I have to wash him first. He stinks.
Not the same.
Fair enough. You want it to smell nice.
Yeah,
I understand that. Thanks,
Cover
Kerry.
him in lavender.
Yeah. And Tasha, our friend Tasha is on from Las Vegas. Open up, Tasha.
Hi, I'm Tasha. I'm from Vegas. I have 2 kids. One is 10 months old. She is such a happy little baby. And I have a 10-year-old. She has cerebral palsy and epilepsy, among other things. She's such a joy, though. She just brings so much happiness to everybody's lives. Like, I think that's what she's here for, is just to make people happy, because she is just amazing. And fun fact about me is I have a serious Harry Potter obsession. Like, I have like a Harry Potter situation going on here.
Goodness.
Oh my God.
Now, when you
That's
said
more
that,
than
Sandy,
me. I don't have a Harry Potter tattoo. Maybe, I think Richie would kill me if I got a Harry Potter tattoo.
it will work its way up my arm at some point. So
That's awesome.
It's pretty bad.
Please send me a photo of your tattoo. I'm really excited.
I will.
Tabitha.
Does that come off mute?
Yep. Beautiful.
Yep. Perfect.
I've got 2 kids. I've got Cooper, who's 5.5, and Amelia, who's 2.5. Cooper has a sensory processing disorder diagnosis, and we're currently going through all the hoops for ADHD, ASD, and anxiety, trialing medications and appointment after appointment and all different kinds of things. So school transition has been a big challenge for us this year and a big learning experience. So.
And now you're transitioning to home from school
yes
again. Yeah. Fun.
Yeah. And he just broke his arm last week. So
no.
he's sensory and in a full arm cast. So he's not loving life at the moment. So,
no, not at all.
So my fun fact is I love a bit of a DIY, even if it kills me for time management. So if there's something there and I can create it out of something we've already got, then, you know, there I am on my sewing machine or mixing up concoctions or whatever. And I sort of, that's my time to switch off and get a bit of satisfaction and achievement out of that. So.
Yeah, and I think it's even more important right now to be making time for that, regardless if it's like there's time or not. Or like we probably have a bit more time now, but even if there's not time, you got to do things that light you up. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Yep, that's right.
Beautiful. Thanks, Tabitha. Hey, Linda.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi.
We can.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm Linda. I'm Scottish, so you might need an interpreter.
Subtitles.
I have a little girl who I adopted with my partner, and she is 6, and she has Fragile X syndrome. So that was a big shock. We were misdiagnosed, and then we found out that she did have it, so we were a bit upset. But like, she's changed our lives. We love her to death, and yeah, she's just opened our world to so many different things. So, but she's struggling at the moment, so it's really hard. Oh,
yeah,
like
I saw your post. Yeah, I saw your post last night.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like, she's just wanting to argue with us all the time and fight about everything, and she's getting a little bit aggressive. So, and then obviously I'm at work as well. I'm a nurse. I'm a children's nurse, so that makes it hard. A fun fact about me, well, I'm Scottish, so that's pretty funny.
That is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other fun facts?
Oh, let me think. I went on a holiday to Amsterdam. That was funny.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why I've got my Amsterdam t-shirt on. Amsterdam.
Oh, nice. That is a fun fact. Thanks, Linda.
Okay, thank you.
I'm totally going to mispronounce this, but I'm going to give it a go. Arundhati?
Yeah, that's me.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, Arundhati is fine. I have a almost 4-year-old son. He was diagnosed with autism after he was 3, maybe I think it was 3 years, 4 months, something like that. He's a speech delayed at the moment, so that's what I'm looking more forward to, because he can do a lot of like echolalia for nursery rhymes. I listen to a lot of nursery rhymes at home, and I sing along because. Fun fact is, I was going to be pretty much like one and done with kids, but definitely I think with autism, it might be true. And then on my spare time, I like to watch YouTube of like skincare and makeup and things I don't really get to do a lot, but I would like to do when I can.
Nice. Love it. Thank you. Shani.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So my name's Shani. And I have 2 boys. I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. Both have autism. So my eldest is a level 2 and a level 3, and my youngest is a level 3. He's quite severe and non-verbal. So I have my hands full with my 2 boys. And fun fact about me is I'm stuck in the 80s. Like, I love any like TV series or, you know, movies from the 80s, like, you know, Dirty Dancing, Teen Wolf, Back to the Future. I mean, I'm watching the Golden Girls at the moment, you know, and I love it. I love it.
That's the best.
It's a happy, it makes me happy. So to me, I don't know, maybe it makes me back to my childhood or something, but it's just it's a happy place. Yeah.
Another fun fact about Shani is she's actually an epic comedian. I think one day we should just do a My Time where Shani comes on and does a set.
Yeah, I agree. I'm all for that. She's so funny.
Thanks, Shani. Who else? Michelle, are you up to talking today? I know you were a bit unwell yesterday. Michelle Rossi.
Hi, yeah, I'm here. I'm just pulling over so I can talk because I'm driving.
Oh, good.
Okay.
That's nice and safe. Thank you.
Yes, it is. And plus, I don't want to get fined. But, you know, All right, hi, I'm Michelle. I've got a 13-year-old son that is level 1 autism. He got diagnosed, it'll be 5 years this month, so he was 8 when he got diagnosed. Fun fact about me, I love doing those colouring in books, those like really fine colouring, you know, adult colouring in books. So yeah, I find those very you can zone out when you do those, so I enjoy doing those. And yeah, and I've had a fair bit to do with the Elite Critters Foundation before as well. I've done a lot of that's where I met Sandy about
it was, wasn't it, all that time ago?
It was, yeah. So yeah, so and I did a lot of volunteer work for them, so that was fun. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey. My son loves to isolate, so this whole isolation thing isn't anything new for me. He doesn't go to school, so this is the second year in a row he hasn't been to school. So he was supposed to start high school, but yeah, so we're just
he sort of
pretty
did
much
start and then didn't he?
Yeah, he went for a few days and tried to start year 7, but yeah, he decided that school's stupid and he doesn't learn anything he wants to learn, so that was the end of that. And once he digs his heels in, they're dug in. Yeah, so yeah, so that's pretty much.
Fun fact. Oh, you did fun fact.
Oh,
Your
fun fact, the colouring in, yeah.
Yep. And she's also doing the Walk for Autism at the moment, and she's smashing it. So
I am. Thanks.
No worries. And Caitlin, lucky laugh.
Hi guys. So I've got 2 boys. They've both got autism. My oldest son is 6, Adrian. He has ASD level 3, ADHD and anxiety. We just got placed in the support unit this year. I say we, like it, me and him, but he got placed in the support unit after a very trying kindy last year where we were barely getting an hour each day. And he's thriving. I mean, you have all the same challenges, but he's going to school, so that's a win for me. My little Sam is 3, so he was diagnosed with global developmental delay before he was diagnosed with ASD, and he was completely nonverbal when he was diagnosed, but he's in the kind of the last 6 months, he's started talking only really around the people that he likes, but he is talking, and he's, you know, the typical ASD, you know, he doesn't look at people, he doesn't really want anything to do with the world outside his own little world. So yeah, that's my 2 boys. And fun fact, I'm copying off all you girls. I love Harry Potter, I love the colouring in. I have so much stationery, it's ridiculous. So many journals that you know, they overtake my house, but mine is my thing is organisation. It makes me happy, which has been a killer while I'm flat on my back and can't get into anything. But yeah, it always zens me out when I can, you know, reorganise something. So yeah, that's me done.
Beautiful. Well, that was. Thank you everybody for contributing. And you know what I love most about that is like there's so much experience and brilliance just on this call that we can all draw upon, because we're all at different stages and all had different experiences. Like I wouldn't have the same experience as Michelle's had with that school refusal, so that's just such a great skill set that we can all learn from, and everyone has those parts of their story. So thank you everyone for sharing. We might quickly get into the ZenMe component and get that covered, and then if anyone wants to hang around afterwards, we can. So I'm just going to share my screen with you guys. Okay, so our ZenMe program is really about helping you to develop a tool belt of strategies around stress management. So, you know, everybody can use this, but for us in particular, I think it's even more essential because often we have a lot more stresses that are placed on us than the average person. So it's really important to understand what stress is. So they can be from outside, but they can also be internal on your body as well. For example, from an illness or from something like a medical procedure that you've had done. So, and how we like to talk about stress and health at Thrive Tribe and Co. And Steph mentioned it before, is with like a health wheel. So here we go. So this is our health wheel. Now the health wheel is split into 5 sections. So I want you to have a think about while we're doing this. I just want you to start jotting down some things, because it's really important for you to identify how stress shows up in your life right now. Because if we know how it shows up, then we can put some strategies in place to support that. Sorry, I'm going to check the chat bar. Yep, Paula, we'll get that out. We'll send it out with the with the emails. So we split the wheel into physical, so with your body, social, which is your relationship, mental, which includes your emotional health, spiritual, which is your sense of self or sense of purpose, and then money, which is financial, which is your money. And all of these things impact one another. So it's important that what we like to see is that the wheel can roll. And often what will happen is that you'll nail one area, but then the others will suffer. So why we like to look at it as a wheel is because we want to make sure that we're addressing each of these areas. So I want you to have a think about, when you're stressed, how does your body respond? So for example, do you get headaches when you're stressed? I know that I get the whole tension triangle thing happening where my jaw tenses up, my neck tenses up, and that gives me a headache. I know, Steph, you get a similar thing to that.
Yeah, and this week as well, I've noticed I'd be sitting here working and I've got the kids in the background and everyone's the same at the moment. And I realized that I was holding my breath for like significant amounts of time until I was like, and then big, so that rhythm of breathing will affect everything. And we talk about breathing and a process a bit more, but it is really important how different people respond and how it can affect you.
Yeah, absolutely. I know fatigue is really common for stress. So if you feel tired all the time, even after you've just got out of bed, that's really like a bit of a warning signal for stress. But then the opposite, you're so tired and you can't sleep, right? Because your mind's like tick, 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 tick. I find when I'm really stressed, I start waking up really early in the morning and I can't get back to sleep. I also get dermatitis flare-ups. So there's lots of ways that stress can show up in your body. So what I'd like you to do, I'm going to show you the next slide just so you can get an understanding. We want you to write down how your stress shows up. So we're just using the previous slide as an example. And then if you can just jot down how stress shows up in each area of these for you, that will be really helpful as we move forward. So then you look at your relationship. So when you're stressed, how does that affect your communication? How then does that affect friendships or relationships or your marriage or, sex life? It all gets affected when we're feeling high levels of stress. So for me, when I'm really stressed, I go into like a shell and I don't communicate, and I expect my husband to be able to read my mind when he can't, which is not helpful and just makes the situation worse generally. And I don't know why he can't read my mind, but it's just not one of his skills. So have a think about how, when you're stressed, how does that affect your relationship? How does that affect the way that you communicate either with your partner or your kids? Like I know I get really snappy, and often my friendships become sort of optional, which is not going to help with our social health, right? Because connection is vital, and that's why these calls and plugging into these calls is so important, particularly while we're in this stage where we can't access, physical connection, like face-to-face communication with people. So have a think about how stress affects your social health and your relationships. Now your mental health, or this has to do with your emotions. Can everyone still see that screen? Just not scrolling for me now. Yep, cool. So it has to do with your emotional regulation. And I know we teach our kids about self-regulation and emotional regulation, but as humans, we actually need to be mindful of that for ourselves. How does it affect your mental health? Do you find that you do maybe get a bit of anxiety? Do you feel like sometimes you feel a bit depressed? So it's really important that you can highlight that, because they're almost like warning signals, right? Because we can then start to put in place these different strategies that we're going to discuss over the next 5 weeks or so. And it might also be some positive things that come in I know when I'm stressed, I turn on that resilience muscle now and I start employing the strategies. But if you haven't learnt the strategies, it's hard to employ them, right, before you learn them. So that's what our ZenMe is all about, teaching you those strategies. So that is your mental part of the health wheel. So how does stress affect your mental health? The next part around on the health wheel is spiritual health. Now, spiritual health doesn't have to mean religion. Like, it's not like, it doesn't have to mean that. It can, but it's your sense of self, your sense of purpose. And I loved listening to Alicia say that she loves her DIY stuff. That fulfills a sense of purpose in her, right? That's the thing that lights her up. So when we're stressed, often those things get put in the I don't have time basket. So I know for me, there's either one or the other. I either throw myself completely into it as a coping strategy, or I think it's all too much and I completely disconnect. And then the last one is your money. So, and often people don't look at this as part of their health, but money has a huge impact on our stress levels. If we don't have enough money, or if things are tight, then that's going to add to the stress, which is then going to affect the rest of the health wheel. So maybe having a overview of your money situation and how that impacts your health in terms of stress, that's what that sector is for. And you know, sometimes this can be things that we can improve upon, like how do we manage our money better? How do we use our NDIS funds to get more out of what we need to do, and take some strain off our personal finances? Do you have spending habits which aren't serving you? Richie often jokes, he's like, oh, sounds like another parcel delivery for Sandy coming up the driveway. So when I'm stressed, often I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna do a bit of online shopping, and you get this hit of dopamine when you purchase something, when you're not handing over cash. It's just like magical money that comes out of your account. You don't even see it go anywhere. And then this parcel turns up, it actually gives you a hit of a happy hormone, right? That's why we do it. So it's an interesting thing to look at. If that's me, it might not be you, but for me, I'm like, oh, I feel better now that I've shopped, right? Some people like to do it in person. I like to do it online. All right, so I would love to, does anyone have any of their wheel filled out that we can have a quick debrief on? Where would illness fit into this? Paula, it would fit into the physical section that's happening to your body. Do you do the shopping too, Rebecca? Is that what you were saying? Yeah. Okay, does anyone have anything for physical that they notice when they're particularly stressed, something that you may not have noticed before?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, Kerry?
The same like with Steph. I hold my breath, especially when I'm talking to my mother, who I've had issues with for a long time. When I'm talking to her, I don't realise it, but at the end of the phone call, I'm like, I'm so stressed out that I realise that I've been holding my breath. And the fatigue thing, the adrenals, all that kind of stuff. If I don't deal with it and confront it and bring it out into the open, it just kind of like poisons me on the inside. So, and that's something that I've realised over the last 12 months since starting Thrive Tribe, that I was very fatigued when I first joined, and no one knew what, like the doctors didn't know why, and they still don't know why. And I'm convinced that it's because I'd been holding on to unforgiveness and guilt and not breathing through it, not doing meditation. Like that for me has become a key for me to get over that part of it. But I know that we're just doing the sickness part of it now. But
but this is the thing, they're all linked together. So that's going to be beneficial for your spiritual and mental health, it's also going to improve your physical health and your communication. So it literally is affecting all of them. So it's perfect. That's awesome. Well done. Anyone else want to add? Tasha does.
So for me, when I get really stressed out, sorry, this one's crawling all over. When I get really stressed out, I get really hot, and I feel like my whole body just overheat, and then I get really irritated. Like I go from like 0 to 60, and then I'm just like, okay, let me go cool off for a minute. Like literally cool off, not like
cool off,
like down, but like I need to like cool off because I'm so hot. And I live in Vegas, and like today it's really, really warm. It's like, I mean, it's 80 degrees, which isn't terrible for Vegas, but it gets like in the summer like 115 degrees. And so when you're like, there's nowhere to go that's cool, and just so overwhelmed with everything. It's just, and with my daughter, she's in a wheelchair, she's wheelchair bound, so like just getting her in and out of the car, sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to have a panic attack in a second.
Yeah.
Like it's just too much.
Well, hopefully you can use some of the strategies coming up in our sessions to help with that. So I've done similar, like used them in those similar situations. That's really interesting. Your temperature regulation goes out when you're highly stressed. That's cool. That's a cool thing to notice. Anyone else want to add?
I hold my shoulders up by my ears.
Oh yeah, tense like that.
And I don't even realize I'm doing it. Like I don't realize. Like I clearly don't look like this all the time. Actually, like I don't. Like holding my shoulders up is usually about here or somewhere. But I realize, and I just I definitely hold all my tension in my shoulders and my neck. And my neck turns into concrete.
Yeah, it's a good
when
notice.
It's really bad. I actually feel it across my jaw.
I get it here.
Upper jaw, like not even my lower jaw. My actual upper just has this.
Wow. Cool. All right, let's keep going. This is a little bit longer than what we thought it would be, but I think it's important that everyone gets to talk to each other. So that's what it's all about. So we'll get through the last part, because this is the part where we help you actually come up with some solutions. I don't want to bring you in the ditch of how stressed you are and not bring you out with some solutions. We want to leave you feeling happier. All right, so we're going to take you through a goal setting template that we use all the time at Thrive Tribe and Co. In all of our programs. And the reason that we use this is because it's a scientifically proven template, and it addresses 4 different things. So often when we set goals, so your goal might be, I would like to feel less stressed on a daily basis, right? So that might be your big goal. Often people only set that, and then they don't think about the other factors, and that's why they don't have that goal at the moment. So we're going to really quickly take you through this. What we will do is we'll send this template out to you in the email when Jolene sends it out, so you can have it and keep it and print it out whenever you need to. Whenever I set a goal for anything, I do this. So whether I want to, get stronger at the gym, or whether I want to get the house cleaned in a certain way, or whether I want to, make a goal around the type of food that I'm eating, I use the WOOP template. So this is what we were talking when we were saying we were going to WOOP you. This is where you get WOOP. Okay. All right. So the W stands for wish. So this is like what you really want to achieve, and this is where it's more around action. So for example, if your goal is to be less stressed, your wish might be, I would like to engage in 10 minutes of whatever strategies that might be breathing, meditation, or grounding, or a relaxation session once or twice per day. So the wish is something that you have control over, because it's an action that you take that's going to lead to you having that goal. Okay, so it might be that you want to focus on your breathing for 2 minutes each hour of the day, and we're going to cover breathing next week. Okay, so breathing is going to be the first technique that we cover, and different types of meditation. And I know some people are like, I can't meditate, I've never done it. We're going to teach you a way that everybody can do, so you cannot fail at it. It's awesome.
It's a game changer.
That's no worries, Trista. Thank you. All right, so that is where you put your wish. So you're going to put what your wish is. So each wish would have a different sheet. So at the moment, we're just about to launch our 11-11 project, which is where we take our people through 11 goals in 11 days. And they do a different work for each goal, because there's going to be different outcomes and different obstacles for each goal. So the outcome is, what is the best thing? Like, how is it going to make you feel when you have your wish? How is that going to change your life? And you need to get quite like in depth with this. So a lot of people will come to me and say they want to lose weight, right? In my other job, that's what I do. I coach people, and they'll say, I want to lose 10 kilos. And I'll say, well, why? And that no one's ever asked them that before. They just feel like they want to lose 10 kilos. But when you get down to the nitty gritty of it, it's like, you know what? If I did that, I would feel so much more confident. in myself, I would show up as a different person in the world. I would feel like a better mum for my kids because I'd be able to get down on the floor and play with them, you know. So I want you to dig into, if you were less stressed, if you, you know, if you weren't so snappy, if however stress shows up for you, if you didn't have that neck pain because you were stressed all the time, how is that actually going to impact your life? How is it going to impact your relationships? How is it going to impact your finances? How is it going to impact your spiritual health? So I want you to unpack that, unravel it a little bit, because you're not going to do the things that are hard if you don't understand why. It's not enough just to have the goal. You've got to have the feeling, connect to the feeling underneath it as to why. Okay. Then the next part is obstacle. So obstacle is the things that are getting in your way from stopping you from having that. And you will have obstacles because if you didn't, you'd already have it. You'd have the wish. So I want you to think about what shows up. So for you, it may be, if it is like, I've never been able to meditate because my mind is busy. That might be an obstacle. Busy mind, right? It might be time management. It might be, I literally don't feel like I have more than a minute to do that during the day, right? So once we know the obstacles, that means then we can plan for them, which is the P. Okay, so the plan is the strategy that we put in place for you to overcome those obstacles. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing and we'll send that out to you. So I think over the next 5 weeks, we'll help you with the plan. We're going to give you lots of strategies that you can implement to help reduce those stress levels. And the beauty of this is that you can choose the strategy that's going to suit you best. Right? For some people, grounding is going to be it. For some people, the breathing techniques are going to be it. For other people, a present meditation might be it. You know, you might try journaling. There's all different factors that we're going to bring in so you guys can check it out, right? And then you have this, what we talk about, like a tool belt of strategies that you can then implement in your life or pull out the one that suits at a particular time. So Tasha, the one that I was thinking of when you said your story, I remember this one day where Imi just refused to get out of the car. Like, it was hot. I was like, I can't lift her now. She's too strong. And I stood there and I just thought, just breathe. And I just did my really quick breathing exercise. It took me a minute and soaked in some sunshine, and I felt so much better within 60 seconds. So there's stuff like that. It doesn't have to take lots of time. But stuff we can teach you, so then in those moments you can pull that tool out of your tool belt and you can implement that. So that's our goal before the end of this, you know, this little 5-week program that we're going to run you through. So what I'd love you to do is, when you get that WOOP, do the first 3, and then we can help you with the P, right, as the weeks go along. And if you've already got a tool that you can add in there, then add it in there. It's really up to you. But we want you to we want you to not only connect with these sessions, but leave with something really useful that you can implement in your life that makes your life improve where you're at from now. So we want to get you from here to here. Yeah? How does that sound? Good? Awesome. All right. Does anyone want to ask any questions or say anything before we finish up for our first session today?
You're good.
Rebecca says thank you.
Rebecca says thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Just don't forget to send through your emails so I can get in contact with everyone with all the kids' activities and everything.
Have you got the ones from the chat thread, Jolene?
Yeah.
I'll
be
all those ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Tabitha's just popped hers on there. I'll just hang on here for a little bit, Jolene, just to make sure that you've got them all. Because as soon as I close the meeting, it'll close you out. So
all right,
I'll just hang out with you. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you know anyone who will benefit from this, please invite them. Like, the more the merrier. We're happy to have heaps of people on these, and that really helps us keep these going as well. So, yep, invite away. And if you have any questions, then please send them through. Oh, and we would love you to join our free Thrive Tribe & Co community group, which is Thrive Tribe & Co Connect. Steph, can you just grab the link and pop it in?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Do that now.
If you haven't worked out, Steph's the techno guru that is like a magician that does all the back end stuff that I don't know how to do.
She's like, yeah, no, you can do that. Too hard. All good. I'll get that link for you now, guys.
So Sandy, I just want to say thank you. Like, I know that you found me actually because I reshared a video that you had posted, and I just saw it on Facebook, and I was like, this is so true. It was about health for moms of kids
It
with
was
special needs.
fertility statistics. Yeah.
Right, and I was just like, this is so true. And I like wasn't taking the greatest care of myself, and then after seeing that video, I did, and I ended up working out like 4 days a week. I dropped 15 pounds, which really wasn't my goal. My goal was just to feel healthy and to be better about taking care of myself, because it's important for Lily and now Artie for me to be healthy. And then, you know, you've helped me with other stuff in my life recently. So now I'm a stay-at-home mom again, and I really appreciate all the help, because I see your posts. Like, I know, like, the stuff you post is one thing, but what you don't post, it's like you've got to have your hands full, as all of us in this group do. We all have our hands full. So for you to take the time to like reach out to individuals and really help everybody, it's really, really great, and I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thanks, Tessa. You just made my day. I can leave with a happy heart now. That's awesome. And thanks for tuning in. I don't even know what time it is over there now.
Oh, it's like 5:30. So I actually got to hop off because I'm going to feed the kids, because this one's getting pretty crazy.
Go for it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Tessa.
Thanks, Tessa.
See you, Ellen. Bye. So our Steph just posted the link to our Connect group. So that's our community page. So feel free to jump in there, and there's what, 3,500 other parents in there, Steph, now, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy, and growing every day. Like, it's so good. So we need to keep that going and spread the word. But honestly, like, for what we've done here today as well, there's been no better time in the world than to be focusing on Zen and connection. Like, this is the best opportunity to do it. And if we can do it online, even better. Like,
yeah.
I think it's a good time. So we're excited.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sticking it out. I know that was a bit of a long call, but I think it was really important for everyone to connect. But yeah, we will see you next week. So make sure you jump back on, bring a friend. Let's double it.
Yeah, we'll have our lippy on next week. We should do that.
All right, we better have a chat. We should match.
Yeah. So, all right, guys.
All right, ladies.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Fun. Thanks.
Oh,
bye.
Oh, hang on, Jolene.
Okay, I've got everyone's that's already posted.
On there.
Yeah.
Yeah.